Get on Team Shaq with WinBet. We're playing parlays, boosting odds, and laying the wildest prop bets. Don't miss another game. Download the WinBet sport betting app today.
Sign up today and win $200 in free bets when you place a $50 first-time wager on a straight bet or parlay. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in a state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Blue Wire.
First pick in the 1991 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Larry Johnson from University.
I'm not supposed to be here, man. A lot of people from where I'm from, don't make it.
Charlotte, we're back.
Welcome in to another Buzz Beat. This is Richie. Got an awesome interview lined up with Clint Parks. You may not have heard the name before, but he's a well-respected NBA trainer. He's worked with Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Kuzma, and the reason that I brought him on, he's also works with Jalen McDaniels. In the interview, we're going to learn about his childhood, his upbringing, how he got into basketball, how that translated into his AAU program, and how he eventually became a one-on-one NBA skills trainer, and that's what he's doing now. I've seen some images and some videos of him working with Jalen McDaniels, so I figure I'd ask him some things about his progress over the summer. I know a lot of people really, really like Jalen McDaniels and would like for his role to be increased for the upcoming season. It's a big summer for him. He's going to be on the last year of his contract, and we'll see. We'll see how he does this year, and I would like to see what kind of improvements that Clint has been seeing out of him. So this is not a long interview by any means, but I thought you guys would enjoy. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing with Clint. All right, joining us today on Buzz Beat is a well-respected basketball skills trainer, Clint Parks. Clint, we appreciate the time. How's everything going?
Everything's going well. Everything's going well. Thanks for having me on.
So I wanted to start with you and your childhood. Where did you grow up, and at what age did you start playing basketball?
I grew up in Riverside for most of my life until high school. Sophomore year, I moved to Hawaii, where my mom was from. I ended up moving with my grandma. And I think, I don't know, like I've been playing basketball I started with basketball for as long as I can remember. It had to be, I feel like I was born with the ball in my hands. My dad had me around the game, and just like basketball has always kind of been like just a huge part of my life.
In Hawaii, was there like a big basketball scene there? Like without any professional sports teams in Hawaii, like who do people cheer for over there?
The home team, University of Hawaii, and basketball is not as big. It's really football and volleyball are the big sports in Hawaii, and wrestling.
So as you were playing basketball, in California and Hawaii, was there a point in your playing career where you realized like playing professionally wasn't going to be your path? And like how immediately in your mind did you start to think of other ways that you could still be around basketball?
Kind of probably came to that in high school, then got hurt in junior college, broke my fibula twice, 2 years in a row. So kind of like always wanted to be in basketball. So like started my AAU program like right after I finished high school while I was in junior college. And yeah, we had AAU program. We had Kawhi Leonard and Tony Snell. So we had some pros, and just like, just loved being a part of the game and wanted to coach. And I think starting the program, just trying to find players without a shoe deal and being a small team, knew the development route was going to be important, almost like a small market NBA team. You got to draft well, you got to develop well, and then because you're not going to attract free agents. And that's how it almost is being like an independent AAU program. You got to find sleepers, you got to find under the radar players, and that was what we found in Tony and Kawhi. And then you got to develop them up, and that's always been the model, and that's kind of something I always took pride in. And just finding players that have talent, have potential, and then just bringing that best out of them through working them out and pushing them to a new level.
Shopify is the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. And I love it because Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources that were once reserved for big businesses. So upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. I don't talk about it a ton, but I have a fishing company. 5 years ago this month, my best friend Aaron and I started a bass fishing weight company called Woo Tungsten, because woo is the sound you make when you catch a giant bass. So we sell tungsten weights for bass fishing, and Shopify has made it so incredibly easy. They have all the tools and the resources that we need. No matter how big or small your business is, they just make it so effortless. And like mine, Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses from first sale to full scale. And you can reach customers online and across social networks with their ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. And you can gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond, which is something we use a ton. More than just a store, Shopify grows with you. Go to shopify.com/Blue Wire, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business today with Shopify. Go to shopify.com/Blue Wire right now. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Shopify.com/Blue Wire.
This Pride, everyone's coming through for the Trevor Project on YouTube Shorts. Join us! Create a short showing how you're stepping out for Pride using the hashtag YouTube Pride Challenge. Come through for Pride on YouTube Shorts. Visit youtube.com/Pride.
Yeah, so you mentioned Tony Snell and Kawhi, who came through, and you had the opportunity to work with them. How hard is it, or how easy is it to spot like NBA talent at that age? Like, did you have a clue that both of those guys were headed for the NBA?
They had tools. Most importantly, I didn't know really, because I didn't, like, before Kawhi, I never worked with the NBA player, but I knew he had a special work ethic and a commitment to the game, to getting better. Just a crazy work ethic, which really has always set him apart from a lot of guys and still does to this day. And so that's one of the biggest things people don't talk about enough about young guys, is like, you gotta have a thirst for working, you know? Like, you gotta love to be in the gym and then working on the right stuff. And Kawhi, I always tell people, at 14 years old, he told me that he wanted to be a great player, and was just in the gym with him this morning at San Diego State, and could say all these years later from 2006 that, you know, he still has that same fire, that same passion, that same focus to be great and to continue to get better. And that's so unique, especially in today's game.
So I'm assuming he's going to be healthy to start the season, right?
Yeah, he's going to be healthy, and he's going to be good to go he's going to be 100% by the season, or if he's not already.
Right. So can you tell me how this like AAU program that you started up, how that led to like where you are now? Like, how did it go from being an AAU coach to becoming more of a one-on-one kind of skills trainer?
I just branched off, kind of just wanted to, didn't want to be the guy who coached the AAU for 30 years. No disrespect to some people who, look, that's their lane and that's their goal or whatever, their end game. But I've always had bigger aspirations, and I just love being on the court. And so it just kind of, guys, just seeing the work that I did with Kawhi, and then over the years that it kind of just branched off and led to like working with Kyle Kuzma and McDaniels brothers, just different guys over time. Just having a name and credibility, you know, like that's all this game is about, is credibility at the end of the day. Like, you do good work, then hopefully the word spreads and more people hear about you. And that's kind of what's happened with me. And I've always said, like, basketball for me is like, I enjoy working with kids from all levels. I'm not someone who's just like, oh, I only work with guys that are professionals, or I got young kids that I train. I got high school players, college players, NBA players, overseas players. Like, it's basketball. I just love the game.
Yeah, that was the next question I was going to ask you. I was going to ask if you just work with like college guys and NBA guys, but it sounds like you work with guys of all ages. And you mentioned Kyle Kuzma, you mentioned Jalen McDaniels. We're a Hornets podcast. That's why I brought you on to join me today. How long have you been working with Jalen?
Started working with Jalen a lot consistently when he got to San Diego State, because I was down here one of my very best friends, and he trained Jalen a lot in high school, and he was in Seattle. And so when he moved down here to San Diego State, obviously I knew Jalen when he was in high school. I spent some time in Tacoma, coaching at Tacoma Community College, so I was familiar with him as well. And then when he came down to San Diego State, we really started getting after it a lot. So it's been a while. It's been a few years, and it's been good to carry it on through his professional career as well.
Well, that's good that he keeps coming back to you, and he's one of those players that's slowly becoming a fan favorite here in Charlotte. I've always been a believer in his game just because of the little things that he does. Like, he can get easy buckets in transition. He crashes the offensive glass pretty well. And defensively, he's got tons of versatility. I've always wondered, when it comes to a player like Jalen, how much of your time as a trainer is spent on enhancing and just building up what he already does so well versus trying to incorporate new stuff into his game? Is it a 50-50 split? Do you lean one way or the other?
That's actually a really, really good question. One of the best questions I've had been asked on a podcast, because I always tell people, number one, the biggest mistake trainers can make is forgetting that coaches control playing time. Yeah. Not trainers, not agents, not advisors, anybody. Coaches do. So you got to master what the coach wants you to do. What's going to get you on the floor? First and foremost, you got to be really, 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 really good at what the coach wants you to be good at, because ultimately that's what's going to get you on the floor. And then you go from there, you're going to expand. So we're working every day. Jalen has to shoot the ball better from the corners. That's something the numbers have shown, that he didn't shot the ball 38%, but from three this year, which is not bad. I would like him to be at above 40, above 40. Right. But 38 is that's above serviceable. So, but from the corners, he's only 34. So you got to be the 38 to 40 range from the corners, or the highest at the corners at least, because it's the closest NBA three. So you got to be deadly from the corners. You need to be automatic from the corners. But I want to see him personally. Next step for him is being able to put the ball on the ground when he drives, play through contact, be a physical ball handler, just have better command of the ball, all those things. His jumper's come a long way since he's come to the league. Wasn't a good 3-point shooter in college, didn't shoot a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So he was a really good mid-range shooter. Obviously, some teams don't believe in the mid-range in the NBA, so I think so. You got to always know that, but I just think that got to continue to shoot the ball well. Work on the catch and shoot from all over the court, threes wise. But just expanding, as far as expanding, just being able to put the ball on the ground better. I call it ball creativity. Being able to just make plays for yourself late in the shot clock. If you do get thrown the ball, and Terry or Melo or whoever is in a weird position, now there's 6-7 seconds left on the shot clock, you're comfortable to go make a play. And when I say make a play, but that's either for yourself or for a teammate. So we've done a lot of both this year. Obviously continuing to do what he does well, and he plays off of stars so well. He knows how to play. He plays winning basketball. He plays both ends. He plays defense. And so for me, really, it's just the next step is being able to handle the ball. Because now if he can handle the ball, now he unlocks a whole another part of his game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the next question I was going to ask, because he's probably never going to be a high usage guy, but over the course of his career and last year especially, it feels like he's been making some small steps with the ball in his hands. What are some things that you're working on with him to make sure he's a better player with the ball? Just quick decisions and just being ball control. Just a lot of ball handling drills, a lot of working on moves and quick moves. Just finding your game. It's funny you say that. If you had to guess, he's probably never going to be a high usage guy. But if you approach every offseason, every workout during the season like that, the next Bruce Bowen. So now he's a franchise player, because every day after practice, before practice, he's working on things that he's not even doing in games. But he's constantly evolving his entire skill set. Instead of just saying, well, I'm not going to be, they envision me being Bruce Bowen, so I'm just going to sit in the corner. I'm never going to work on anything else in my game. Not going to work on post-ups. Not going to work on mid-range, not going to work on pick and roll, because my first 2-3 years in the league, all Kawhi did was sit in the corner. So if he would have just been happy with sitting in the corner and just perfected that, he would have never became a franchise player or a top 75 player all time. So am I saying that's what Jalen's going to become or could become? I'm not necessarily saying that, but nobody knows. He doesn't know,
But I can tell you one thing, if you don't push yourself, then you're never going to become more than what you are now. That's a fact.
Piggybacking off of that, is there a skill, if you just look at his game in general, like, is there a skill that most people overlook or don't give him enough credit for, you think?
I think it's just his ability to play, just knowing how to play with knowing how to play off of stars, knowing how to play winning basketball, knowing when to make the right play, knowing when to make the right pass, the next pass. He's just the small things. Like, so many guys don't know how to play. A lot of people talk about this. There's a lot of good players in the NBA, but there's a lot of guys in the NBA that are talented that don't know how to play winning basketball. He knows how to play winning basketball. You watch him and his brother both play. They both play winning basketball. They know how to play. The ball moves when they're on the floor. They're gonna step over. They're gonna compete defensively. I think that's something that a lot of people don't value, unless you value. Winning, and unless you value winning plays, which some people do, some people don't.
All right, before we get you out of here, last question I've got for you. Does Jalen talk about his time here in Charlotte with the Hornets? And if so, like, what does he say about the organization and getting to play with some of the up-and-coming players like LaMelo and Miles?
He loves it. He loves Charlotte. He loves the organization. He's extremely thankful for the opportunity that he's been given. As a 52nd pick, it's rare. Sometimes those picks don't even make it into the league, let alone the opportunity that Coach Borrego gave him the past 3 years was big time, and he understands that. He's extremely thankful for that, because without that Coach Borrego's belief in him, like, he wouldn't be heading into year 4 as somebody who's going to be on the roster and have a chance to compete for a major role on this team moving forward. So, yeah, he's excited, and he loves, obviously, really close with his teammates. He's been here with Terry and Miles and obviously Caleb. Cody, Caleb's gone now, but came in with Caleb and Cody, spent a lot of time in the G League with those guys, and so he's kind of settled in, and Charlotte's home for him now, and hopefully it continues to be that moving forward.
All right, Clint, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your insight. I know you're a busy man, so I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing, but have a good one, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Go Hornets.